Tom. What I'd like to do, I'm going to introduce Father. I'm going to do my little speech, introduce Father to the grant, and so you can do the national anthem right after. I'd like to get started. We have a big program in front of us. I'd like to get it going. I want to welcome everyone. My name is Pat Smith. I am the chairman of the Sports Hall of Fame Committee. This is our 19th induction ceremony. Thank you. Hold your applause to the end. Thank you very much. I want to congratulate all the special award winners and inductees. I think we got a great class this year. We're going to start off. I'm going to ask our President Rector, Father Vanguard, to say the prayer. If everyone could stand for that, and after that we'll have the national anthem. I would like everyone to keep in their prayers a couple people who recently passed away. Mr. Robert Sensky, who was the first baseball coach in 1961 after a 25-year absence of the sport. And he also helped with the football team with Goldie Graham and John Hoban Sr. And Mr. Bob Ray, who just passed away this last Wednesday, was an assistant basketball coach. Thank you, Father.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we join together this evening as members of the Roman Catholic High School community to celebrate the accomplishments of several distinguished alumni, those who will be inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame. We know, Father, that all gifts, talents, and abilities have their source and origin in you. You bless each of us in our own way, and you ask that we use our abilities to build up your kingdom. Father, we ask your blessings upon these men, their families, and upon all who are gathered here. We ask you to bless this food which we'll share, and all those with whom we'll share it, ever mindful of those who are less fortunate than ourselves. For we ask all these things through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
We'll be back after dinner. Thank you very much. I want to get the program started. We're running a little late. I'll introduce our Toastmaster first. It's his first year, so be easy on him. He's a voice of Roman Catholic basketball and Roman Catholic sports in general. He's also a member of the Sports Hall of Fame with his uncle, John Hoban. He's got a great voice, he's got a great personality. Dan Hoban, the class of 92? Class of 92. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my first duty for my rookie year to introduce the 11th rector of Roman Catholic High School from the great class of 77, Father Joseph Vanguard.
Well, good evening, everyone. It certainly gives me great honor to be part of this annual gathering of such distinguished alumni of Roman Catholic High School. This dinner honoring the inductees to the Sports Hall of Fame is a time for every member of the Roman community to relish with great pride. For while we may be honoring these men gathered here, we're also celebrating the history, pride, and accomplishments of all those who've walked through the halls of Catholic High. During your time at Roman, when you're on the playing field, the court, or the track, you distinguish yourself for your athletic abilities. Because of that, and because of the practice, dedication, and hard work that you put into making our teams the best they could be, you achieved notoriety and victory. You were the leaders, the role models for your classmates, and for the students who followed in your steps. We are gathered here tonight proud of your accomplishments, proud of the legacy that is Roman Catholic High School. Along with the pride and respect we feel for the inductees' individual and team accomplishments, there's a realization that each of us here are part of a much larger team, a team in which everyone plays an important part. The name of that team is the students of Roman Catholic High School. Every young man of each generation, spanning the last 119 years, is part of the family of Roman, and as such, did have and continues to have a position to play. From the teachers and coaches who instructed you, to your parents who raised you, cared for you, and loved you, to the members of the opposing teams who gave you a challenge in order that you may perfect yourselves and your skills, you have all contributed in great ways and small to the rich history and tradition that is Catholic High. Therefore, while I, as rector, and all of us here assembled applaud your efforts as athletes during your time at Roman, we also applaud your efforts as Catholic gentlemen. We applaud your dedication, your spirit of sacrifice for the good of others, your willingness to work together for the common goal. These are the qualities that are none too common in our world, and we find them in people such as yourselves. It is only right that we acknowledge them. So to all the inductees and to their families and everyone here and elsewhere who had a hand in this evening, I say well done indeed. We are very proud of you. We are proud of being Kaelites of Roman Catholic High School. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, first I want to send a special thank you to our chairman of the SHOF committee, Pat Smith. Back in the fall, I walked into the Henry James Saloon, and Pat hit me with the $1 million question. Dan, would you be interested in being the Toastmaster for the SHOF banquet this year? Now, what I wondered was whether Schmitty had had a few beverages before he asked me, or many beverages after I said yes. That's my humor for the evening. Our first inductee this evening is Vickis from the class of 1940. The 1930s were memorable years for Roman Catholic High School football. Cahill Field was often filled to capacity as great Kaelite teams and players made their mark on the Philadelphia Catholic League. One of the best players from those great teams in the 1930s was a lineman who played both offense and defense. His name was Vickis. Newspaper reports from that era often cited Al's outstanding and stellar play on both sides of the football. He was one of the most respected players on the team, and his play on the field, as well as his outstanding work in the classroom, earned him an all-scholastic team selection his junior year. As a senior, Al was one of the best players on the team, and he also continued to excel in the classroom. Once again in his senior year, he was selected as an all-scholastic and an all-Catholic in his senior year. Al now joins fellow teammates Will Hotz and Mike Popal in the Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame. After graduating from Catholic High, Al attended Catholic University on an academic scholarship. He graduated summa cum laude with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering in just 3 years. Following graduation, Al accepted a professorship position at Catholic University to teach mathematics to ROTC candidates. Al then worked for General Electrics and later accepted a position at RCA in Camden, New Jersey. He met his wife Julia while at RCA and eventually transferred to a position with RCA in Massachusetts. Al and Julia later settled in Sudbury, Massachusetts, where they raised 4 children. Unfortunately, Al passed away in 1989, and he is greatly missed by his family and the RCHS family. Accepting for her father, Al Vickis, is her daughter, Rosanna Vickis McGowan. The Roman Catholic Sports Hall of Fame Committee proudly inducts Vickis, class of 1940, into the Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame.
On behalf of my late father, Albert Joseph Vickis, and my mother, Julia Vickis, who unfortunately could not come down from Massachusetts, as well as my siblings, I accept this great honor. My father was a man of little words. He could speak eloquently, he could write eloquently, but what he did the best was by example. He was a loving and supportive husband to my mother for 33 years and showed my sister, my brothers, and I what it was to be a good spouse and what it took to have a good marriage. He was also a very involved father, loving and caring. He lost his father at 2. And he has also showed my siblings and myself what it is to be a good parent, and hopefully my children, my twins Christopher and Laura, and my nieces and nephews will learn that from us as well. There were several lessons, I'm sure very many lessons, that my father took from Roman Catholic High School. 2 that I know of is one probably from the football field, which was to fight the good fight. The second one was to have faith and trust in God. And throughout his life, he used both these lessons extensively, but especially in the last months and days of his life when he was fighting cancer. He fought the good fight, but he always had faith and trust in God and in God's plan. I know that my father is probably smiling down from heaven with a football in his hand. And for him and for all of our family, I want to thank you again for inducting him into the Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
This update for the Kearney family. After 4 innings, Philly 7. San Diego 1. Going back to my announcing background here. Our first special award this evening is the William Speedy Morris Class of 60 Community Sports Award. This award is given to an individual who in a special way has provided for the motivation, recognition, and encouragement of young people and the development of their lives as athletes, students, and responsible citizens. This year's recipient is Joe Novitskiy, class of 1943. Joe is a distinguished columnist with the Philadelphia Catholic Standard and Times. He has covered Philadelphia high school sports within the Catholic League for over 50 years. Mr. Novitskiy is recently recovering from surgery and could not attend this evening. Accepting for Mr. Novitskiy is the secret weapon of the 47 City Football Championship team, Mr. Hugh Mooney, class of 48.
Thank you. I sort of grew up with Joe Novitskiy. We both lived on 15th Street and Broad and Butler, rather, at the church. Joe's in rehab right now. He's doing pretty well. But at the Catholic Standard and Years, listen to this, he worked there for 60 years. Whoever has done something like that. 60 years at the Catholic Standard and Times. I talked to Joe today on the phone. He's doing well. And he just had one little story to tell me. He had another hip put in and he was recovering from the anesthesia. And this gentleman was sitting in the chair in the corner. And the gentleman got up to wish him well and whatever it was. The gentleman was His Eminence Cardinal Regali. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Our next inductee this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is Tim Dougherty from the class of 1980. In the late 1970s, the Roman Catholic football program began to emerge from a prolonged period of mediocrity. The 1979 football team won the Catholic League Southern Division title, becoming the first Roman football team to advance to the playoffs in many years. One of the standout members of that team was an undersized defensive end, known for his tough, tenacious play, as well as his leadership qualities. That player was Tim Dougherty. Hailing from St. Francis Xavier Parish in Fairmount, Tim quickly established himself as a leader in the Catholic High locker room and fostered a winning attitude among his teammates with his words and his stellar play. Despite the fact that he was only 5'9" and 155 pounds, Tim played defensive end with the heart and spirit of a true Kale. Offensive linemen from opposing teams who looked across the line and thought that they were in for an easy day quickly found out how badly they had miscalculated. Named one of Roman Catholic's defensive captains at the start of the season, Tim began to make his mark. Opposing teams quickly realized they would have to account for the kid who was constantly harassing their quarterback and running backs. In a remarkable performance against St. Joe's Prep, Tim recorded 5 sacks. For his outstanding play that year, Tim was named First Team Daily News All-Catholic, First Team Bulletin All-City Scholastic, Second Team All-City, Second Team Coaches All-Catholic, and All-State Honorable Mention. He received the RCHS Captain's Award, Leadership Award, and the Cahill Award. He also received the Police Athletic League Leadership Award. Tim was also chosen for the Daily News Eagles City All-Star Game. Tim also served as president of the class of 1980. After graduating from Catholic High, Tim played for Lycoming University his freshman year and was also an assistant football coach at Roman for 2 years. Tim Dougherty exemplified all the qualities that one hopes to find in a stellar athlete: determination, toughness, heart, and leadership. Roman Catholic High School proudly welcomes Tim Dougherty, class of 1980, into the Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would first like to thank the Sports Hall of Fame for this prestigious honor. I feel it is indeed a privilege to be associated with so many great athletes from the Purple and Gold's past. Actually, I find it a little hard to believe because I can honestly say I was the worst athlete in my family growing up. Like every American boy, I played Little League, and like every Catholic boy growing up, I used to bless myself at each at-bat. But unlike every American Catholic boy who used to pray for a hit, I used to pray that the pitcher would hit me. Because God and I both knew there was no way I was hitting that ball. Basketball, there wasn't much difference. I wasn't a very good shot, and I usually found myself in foul trouble very early. And when my name was mentioned with the word basketball, it always seemed to be followed by the word hack. But when I was 9 years old, I was introduced to this marvelous game where not only was it okay to run into the opposing players, it was required. Now, running into people doesn't seem like much of a skill, but you have to work with the skills that God's give you. And I honed mine into a very fine art. And I remembered when I received the phone call from Chris Gibbons informing me that I was selected, I was at first shocked. But after I hung up with Chris, my mind was flooded with wonderful memories. Oh, to be 17 and be invincible again. I could hear the referee's whistle and the thud of the opening kickoff. And I remembered my teammates and the joy I had sharing the game with them. And I remembered Cahill Field. And I could smell the fresh cut grass with the morning dew covering it. And I remembered that on good days when the wind blew from the east, Cahill Field was filled with the sweet smell of baking tasty cakes. And on bad days when the wind blew from the west, you could smell the incinerator from the nearby SPCA on Clearfield Street. But no matter which direction the wind blew when the coach sounded his whistle, you had to strap on your helmet and get to work. When you have 9 players who play both ways, and you borrowed your one-armed kicker from the soccer team, work was the one thing you needed to be successful in 1979. When you play defensive end at 150 pounds, your first impression is not going to strike fear into your opponent, but first impressions can fool you. And we fooled quite a few people that year, earning Roman its first playoff berth in many years. And in closing, I'd like to let my neighbors in Roxborough know that if you should see me some fine, beautiful autumn day when the dew is on the grass and I appear lost in thought, I'm fine. I'm just visiting Cahill Field, and I'm playing the game I love for the school I love with the guys that I love. Oh, to be 17 and be invincible again. Thank you very much.
Our next recipient, Dave Falcione, Athletic Director. Class of 1977. For most of us, the job of an athletic director might seem like a relatively easy one. We might think naively that there's really not too much to do, and you do get a great seat at all times. Of course, that couldn't be further from the truth. The duties of an athletic director are seemingly never-ending and encompass budgeting, purchasing, coordinating, administrating, interviewing, hiring, scheduling, corresponding, representing, and managing. And if there's time to squeeze it in, maybe, just maybe, you can enjoy watching a few minutes of a game here and there. To say that being an athletic director requires dedication, organization, and leadership ability would be an understatement. In 1999, Roman Catholic High School hired one of the best athletic directors in our school's long history. His dedication and commitment to Roman were unequaled. His determination in maintaining an excellent sports program at Catholic High was unwavering, and his love for our school was undeniable. That athletic director was Dave Falcione. Originally hailing from the Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish in Roxborough, Dave graduated from Roman in 1997, the great class of 77, as those alums like to refer to themselves. Even after graduation, Dave always maintained close ties to Roman and served on the Alumni Board of Trustees as well as the Sports Hall of Fame Committee. In 1999, he was hired as athletic director, and during his tenure, our school experienced one of the greatest periods of sports excellence. Roman won the Catholic League Red Division Championship in football in 1999 and 2007, and they won the Catholic League Basketball Championships in 1999, 2000, and 2007, along with an indoor track championship in 2000 and several ice hockey championships. Incredibly, there have been over 140 all-Catholic athletes in our sports program during Dave's tenure as athletic director. He was so well respected by his peers that Dave was chosen as the head of the Catholic League Athletic Directors Group. Dave was also responsible for overseeing the administration of Roman's River Field, as well as starting 2 new sports at Catholic High, wrestling and swimming. Dave lives in Conshohocken with his wife Linda and their 2 children, Dan, a graduate of Roman and Penn State, and Nicole, a graduate of Temple University. Dave is also the well-known proprietor of Roxborough's popular Henry James Saloon, sometimes referred to as Roman Sports Bar. The Sports Hall of Fame Committee proudly inducts Dave Falcione, class of 77, into the Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. I'd first like to congratulate all the other inductees and special award recipients. To receive an award from Roman Catholic is certainly an honor, and everyone should be proud. Roman's a great place. I'd also like to thank the committee led by my classmate Pat Smith. Hall of Fame committee does a great job and a lot of work just to get this together. I mean, you can see what kind of crowd we have tonight. They do a super job. So Pat and committee, great job. There's one person that I know is behind me 100% in all my years as athletic director, and he passed away this year, and that was Dick Trotter. Dick was one of the true Roman Catholic Caholites. He was 100% behind every sporting event, anything that Roman Catholic needed, not just athletics, but other things, but certainly athletics. And Dick, you were certainly missed, and to his family, you guys are great. Thank you for sharing Dick with us for those years. He was great, and I certainly miss him. Roman Catholic was, it was a pleasure for me to work there as athletic director, and I certainly worked with some great people. If anybody knows the athletic department knows that the assistant athletic director for all them years was John Pennsylvania. John was fantastic, and without John, I wouldn't be able to do half the things that we did at Roman. So John, thank you. Kenny, great trainer. Brian Conley, thank you guys. You guys are the best. Just as Roman is a family, I'm a lucky person because I've got a few other families that are in my life. I have my IHM, McIntyre Mary, and Roman family, Mike Palone, Mike Rodden. Thank you guys. My Henry James family, my cohorts, thank you guys, everything you guys did. I appreciate you guys being here. My Philadelphia University family, Al Angelos, Tom Shirley, thank you guys for coming. You guys are great. My in-laws, the Turnbulls, Mary Turnbull, my mother-in-law, Stephen, Denise, Brian, thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Uncle Rocky, Aunt Betty, Aunt Midge, love you guys. Thank you for coming. It was nice of you guys to be here. Uncle Rocky, you are my favorite uncle. You are my only one left. To Danny, Kim, and Nicole, thank you. I have two great kids, Danny and Nicole. I mean, I couldn't be prouder of them. They're very successful. You don't listen to everything that I tell them, and that's probably why they're so successful. Thank you guys. I love you guys. There's a cliche out there: behind every man is a great woman. Anybody that knows me knows for sure that this is true. My wife Linda was behind me 100% in everything I did. Without her, I do not know where I would be. She was there for, late nights, for everything. Linda, I love you. Thank you so much for all that you've done. There's a couple people, certainly you're not here. About 10 years ago, I received a loyalty award, and my mother, she was here in this purple jumpsuit. She was so happy. And, she passed away this year, and I know she's looking down on me from upstairs. So, to my mom, again, thank her. And I said, Rome was a great place where it's a family, and I was privileged to meet so many great people there. It's a place where a person can become great friends with somebody. I already mentioned Dick Trotter, somebody 10, 20, 30, even 40 years older. Guys like Charlie Logan, Charlie Proud, Joe Flaherty, he's still alive. He's a great guy. So I'm just covering you, Joe, because you've been looking not too good lately. But there's one person that I certainly miss the most. He was a true Roman Catholic person, and that was John Hogan. He was everything. I think everybody in this room knows him. He was pretty much everything to Roman Catholic. I mean, he was a mentor to me. He told me so many things, what to do. Sometimes I didn't think he was right, but he certainly told me. But you earn that as a friend. You earn that. You can kind of say whatever you want. And I really miss John Hogan, and I know he's up there. He's looking down on me, and he's pretty proud right now. And to his family, you guys are great. Thank you for everything. In closing, I just want to say that I couldn't have been in a better place in Roman Catholic. For the 10 years that I was athletic director, I still want to be involved. It's a wonderful place with great people, and I just want to thank everybody here. God bless you. God bless Roman Catholic. Thank you.
Not to throw a personal spin on that, but Dave hired me as a golf coach several years back, and I echo the sense I couldn't have been a better athletic director to work for than Dave Falcione. Our second special award this evening is the John J. Hoban Sr. Memorial Award for Meritorious Service. Criteria for this award are for outstanding contributions to high school sports in the Delaware Valley, an individual whose background is a mandate for youth and leadership through high school sports. This year's recipient is Silvio Rocky Long. And these are in the words of Roman Catholic Hall of Famer Steve Paul. Rocky was our do-everything guy at Roman. He was our trainer, grounds crew, maintenance, assistant coach, water boy, driver to temple, and maybe most important, our motivator. Basically anything that had to be done, Rocky would take care of it. He may not have attended Roman, but he is unbelievably loyal, and purple and gold runs through his veins. He had a selection of records that he would play before each game to get us psyched to play above our heads against many times a superior team. Remember back in those days, records? Of course, Rocky the movie theme was his favorite song. When these songs were done playing, we felt like we could run through a wall. We were so pumped up. Rocky Long taught us to believe in ourselves and in our teammates. Anything was possible if you were willing to put the work in. He, of course, always led us in our pregame prayer and always had everything set up for our pregame mass with Father Tribbiani. He always promoted teamwork and respect of all of your teammates, whether you were a starter or a backup. It didn't matter. We were all Kaolites. He would host a team party each year before the St. Joe's prep game. Another example of bringing the team together. Yes, anyone that wore purple and gold during the 80s owes Rocky Long an awful lot. As trainer, he kept us together physically. And as one of our leaders, he made us believe in ourselves. Without him, I feel that there is no way we would have been nearly as successful as we were. The 2009 recipient of the John J. Hoban Sr. Memorial Award for Meritorious Service goes to Rocky Long.
That man right there used to be my ball boy years ago. A long time ago right there, Mr. Hoban. I tell you what, I want to thank the committee and all the nominees and all the people that nominated for me. And I tell you what, I want to thank everyone that's here. I want to thank the ones that got the reward before me and the ones that are going to receive it after me. But most of all, I would like to thank one special woman in my life, Mary Ann Long. Without her, I won't be here. She made me what I am. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we'd be up and making up the little things we put on the kids' tags or whatever in their shoes or whatever we did, all kinds of things we did. And Coach Wagner would make me get down and do all kinds of stuff down the field. I won't say that stuff right now, but you know, it's beside the point. But seriously, my wife, I am so proud. I always told her, my wife, Mary Ann, Sarge I call her, and my kids call us Frank and Marie. But I always told her, at Roman Catholic was the best time of my life. When I was coaching down there, and to see your sons, I know your coaches out in the audience, got to know that wherever you are, to see your son or daughter playing, and you're standing there and coaching and in the stands wherever, it is unbelievable how proud it is to be there. And I want to thank my Jimmy, my Michael, my Sherry, my Chrissy. Without them, it won't be possible for me to be here, especially my boys because they went to Roman and my grandsons went to Roman. I got a grandson that plays for Del Val. He's a sophomore. He's the strongest kid on the team. He started as a sophomore, and he's one heck of a football player. And I had one played for the soccer team that loved Roman, had to move away, and he was sick about it. Another one wanted to go to Roman, and he still wants to go there. He's sitting right there at this table, right over there. Fuzz, my man, you know what I'm talking about, right? That's right. That's what we used to say before the games. But I tell you what, it was unbelievable to be at Roman Catholic, and I'll tell you what, the purple and gold, Coach Wagner. I got a little story to tell you that I don't want you to keep this too long, but I got a little story to tell you. I took my Jimmy in to sign up for freshman football, and I walked in the KO field, and like Doc said, and he was right, you had Tasty Cake one side, and you had the SPCA the other side. And then you had the holes in the field on another one. But that's another story. But when I took my Jimmy in to the field, I walked in, and I went to St. Bridget's in the Falls. And I walked into the office, and I said, I'm here to sign up my son for football. And this big, tall guy, with ears were like this, you know what I mean? Walked out. He walked out. I ain't gonna say who told me to say that, but you know. He walked out, he said, what are you doing here? I said, well, what are you doing here? He said, well, I'm the head coach. I said, get that. Pardon my lines? I said, no, you ain't. He said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm signing my son James up to play football. He says, get out, Rock. Well, we went to grade school at St. Bridget's. Coach Wagner and I went to grade school. And from that day on, it was the happiest day of my life, let me tell you. Because we got hooked together. I said to him, I'm not working, and if you need me, give me a call. I'll be down here to help you out whenever you can. 7 o'clock at night, you call me. Get your hiney down here the next day, I need you. Okay, Coach, I'm here. And I've been with him ever since, and we've been through 3 or 4 teams, different teams we coached and all. But to be here at Roman Catholic, it's just unbelievable. To be here. The things that we went through with Roman was unreal. Doc said a lot, and Dave Falcione stole a lot of my sayings and my talk right now. You really cramped my style, brother, but that's okay, because you're a KO late. I'll forgive you. But no, we just want to say one thing. I would like for the committee to seriously think about this. Team that Doc talked about. It was 31 years that we won a championship, the Southern League, Southern Conference Championship. In 31 years, since 1947, I think, if I'm not right, Coach Wags. I would like you guys to think about putting that team in the Hall of Fame. Because them guys, they worked their heinies off. And when we said, I could say to them, listen, I want you to run through that red brick wall over there. They say, Coach, that's no problem, I'll do it. For you, I'll do it. For you guys, I'll do it. That's how these kids were. We had 15 kids playing both ways. Both ways. One would get hurt, the other guy get back in. And this is the truth. That team that played and the spirit at Roman Catholic is on today is unbelievable. And the people that we had we had people in the Fathers Club, I don't know if you people know it or not, but when I was down there in 1978, are still working the Fathers Club. Mr. Rambo, there's another fellow, I can't think of his name, but Mr. Rambo, he's still working the Fathers Club. That's, what, 30 years ago, 31 years ago? The camaraderie here is unbelievable. The spirit for Roman, the breakfasts, what's the name? The alumni is unbelievable. You know that? It's unbelievable. But this is unbelievable. Okay, thank you very much. And this is for the purple and gold that one of the guys made that I wore at the football game. And God bless the purple and gold, live forever!
Next inductee is Arnold Mars from the class of 1962. It is a rare and noteworthy accomplishment to distinguish yourself as both an athlete and a coach. To give back to your school and your community by mentoring and teaching the athletic skills that you possessed as an athlete deserves not only our praise, but our recognition as well. Arnold Mars was not only a great track and field athlete, but he is one of the greatest coaches to ever wear the purple and gold. Arnold came to Catholic High in the fall of 1958 from St. Elizabeth Parish and competed in cross-country and indoor and outdoor track and field. During his high school career, he helped lead the Kaleites to the Philadelphia Catholic League and Philadelphia City Championship in 1959 and 1962. Coach Mars excelled in the 100-meter, 200-meter, 400-meter, long jump, and 4x400-meter relay. Mars and the Kaleites also won 2 Philadelphia Inquirer 4x400-meter championships. He was selected as a team co-captain in 1961 and 1962. And he was also a first-team All-Catholic in 1959, 1961, and 62. After graduating from Catholic High, Arnold earned his bachelor's degree from Cheney State Teachers College. He served our country in Vietnam and was also a member of the Philadelphia Fire Department, as well as the Philadelphia Department of Youth Development Programs. In 1980, Coach Morris was hired as track coach at Roman, and his accomplishments during his time as coach at Broad and Vine are stunning. He has coached 68 All-Catholics, 75 All-States, and 56 All-Americans. His Kaleites won 4 Philadelphia Catholic League Southern Division championships from 1997 through the year 2000, and the Philadelphia Catholic League championship in 2000. Arnold's teams presently hold 6 Catholic League outdoor track records, 7 indoor records, and 2 national Catholic records in the 4x400 meters. Roman posted the fastest times in the United States for Catholic schools in the 4x100 meter relays from 1998 through the year 2000. Roman also won the 4x400 meters at the historic Penn Relays Catholic League section in 1984, 85, 90, 94, and 97. In 1998, Roman finished first at the Penn Relays Championship of America in the 4x100 meters. During Arnold's tenure, Roman won 7 Father Judge relay titles, 2 Bishop Laughlin championships, 2 Seton Hall championships, 2 Stanner Games championships, and the Nestle's Locks team championship in 1998. Coach Morris was voted PCL Coach of the Year in 97, 98, 99, and 2000. 6 of his former athletes are now head coaches. And in 1998, he was awarded the RCHS SHOF Loyalty Award. Arnold is presently a track and field official in the Philadelphia Catholic League and a tutor for Sports Extra Incorporated. Arnold Mars was not only a stellar athlete at Roman Catholic High School, but he is certainly one of the greatest coaches in Philadelphia Catholic League history. The Sports Hall of Fame Committee is proud to induct Coach Arnold Mars, class of 1960, into the Roman Catholic Sports Hall of Fame.
Much. Good evening, everyone. I have my notes, honey. I am very flattered and honored and a little bit embarrassed by the attention, but I'll do my best. I wouldn't be standing here this evening were it not for some very, very important people in my life who I have to acknowledge. My beautiful wife, who was not only inspirational but patient. My gorgeous sister, who introduced me to track and field at a very young age. Otherwise, I would not be standing in front of you. So to my wife Bobby and to my sister Rosemarie, thank you, and God bless you as well. And also my children, who they weren't sure if I had 27 children per year or just them. And they were very patient with me as well. My sons, Wesley, Aline, and my daughter, Robin Ann, and my granddaughter, Raven. I love you guys too, and thank you very much for your support as well. Again, as I said, I'm very flattered to be standing here, because I always wanted to be in the background, and all of my kids from every team that I ever coached will tell you that. It wasn't about me. It was always about them. I also even though I'm being honored as an athlete and a coach, I must tell you this story. From the time that I grew up in the St. Elizabeth's area, you know, you always have someone in your neighborhood that you just can't beat. I don't care what sport it is, you just can't beat them. And I used to run, and we used to race in the street, and I had a neighbor, and her name was Charity. I couldn't beat her at anything. And so when I finally did get to Roman Catholic High School and found out about track and field and got on the track team, and she would read the results in the paper on Saturdays and Sundays and see my name in the paper, and she'd knock on the door. You know you can't beat me. And I had to avoid racing her ever again, because now I wasn't just running in the street. Now I thought I had this ability, this training and this finesse, and she wouldn't care. She would see me go out at 6 o'clock in the morning before school and run around Uriah College, and she'd be standing in the door and ask me, "You think that's going to help you?" And I avoided her until I finally graduated, and she still didn't believe that I could beat her. And we are still somewhat very, very good friends to this very day. I had to express that to you because I put that across to my kids as well. Each one of my children that I ever coached at Roman Catholic High School has heard that story, because it's a humbling story. You can be defeated, and we all know that. And in order to be champions, you have to have been humble at some point. And we were humble in 1984. That was my first year that I had a group of seniors that I had gotten as freshmen. And we got to the Catholic League Championship indoors, and we lost by a point. And a lot of things went wrong in that week. We should have won by 10. But they're kids, and when you take kids out, you never know what to expect. And I had some of someone else's children I was taking out, and things just went crazy. When we got to the outdoor championship, we lost by a point. Now, we lost 2 championships by less than 3 points in 1 year. And then it dawned on me, and then I thought about it. I said, is it really, really, really about all of these championships, about winning championships, or is it about creating men to graduate from Roman Catholic High School? And if I could convince them to work as hard after high school as they did on that track, I knew that they would be successful. Some of these young men that I've coached over these 20 years, some of them are my attorneys, my CPAs, and just great professional men, my carpenters, plumbers, police officers, state troopers, school teachers, coaches, mentors, and they give everything back to the Roman community. And it's really, really special to me, and what is really special to me is the fact that I had a class of kids that first class. And I keep bringing up that 1984 team for a specific reason, because that team is another reason why I'm standing here today, because those kids came back and helped every single kid in every single class after them and mentored them and let them know that they can be champions as well. And that meant more to me than anything else. I was really impressed with that. And at Roman Catholic High School, we had a track family. It's a track and field family. As a matter of fact, they argue constantly all the time on the internet somehow. I don't know how they do it on that. I can't communicate with them because I can't type. That's something that I was not allowed to take at Roman Catholic High School. As I said before, I'm very, very humbled by this award, and I want you to understand that Roman Catholic's track and field program is in very, very good hands, because the coach that is now coaching Roman Catholic High School is one of the greatest athletes that ever coached in my life. And it's all about family. And I would be remiss if I didn't stand here and tell you how important the family input into this track and field program was. I did not allow parents to come to practice. That was out. But you could come to a track meet, because on meet day, I didn't coach. It was over, because these kids coached themselves. They already knew what to do. When they won, and all of those things and accolades that you heard before I got up here, I never said one word when they were doing all of that. When they were doing great, I said nothing. When they messed it up, they got work. Because that's when they didn't want to see me. I love these kids, I love this program, and I love the Roman Catholic High School. And now I have to, this microphone doesn't want to work for me. That's because Rocky was up here just tonight. I have to bring to mind a few families that are very, very instrumental into my success at Roman Catholic High School as a coach, and to my team's success. And as I said, that the families were important to me. The Mckenna family, the Young family, the Pena family, the Robinsons, of course, and there are many, many more. I could go on and on and on with this. But to this day, these families and my former athletes are always willing to come back and add something to these programs at Roman Catholic High School when it comes to indoor, outdoor, and or cross country. Believe me. And in closing, I have to give credit to a lot of people that just made it possible for me to be standing in front of you this evening. And one would be Mr. Nicastro. Because had I not had algebra and Mr. Nicastro and his freshman field day, and my classmates, I'm so impressed that my classmates even came here, okay? But I have about 5 or 6 classmates that are here that graduated me in the class of '62, and they know about Mr. Nicastro and freshman field day. That was impressive. I used to love freshman field day.
And the bursar.
So, Mr. Vasallo, Mr. Bell, Mr. Banham, Mr. Vasallo, Dr. Vasallo, my teammate Bobby Cullen, Carl Grant, Mr. Graham, members who did so much for this program. I'm very, very thankful. And without my moderator from 1991 to the year 2000, Mr. Ace Mccann, I will be able to say this. Because he is, in fact, not only a very good friend of mine and pretty much an approximate neighbor, we were also teammates. And for some reason, Ace believed that he could play basketball. I couldn't play basketball, so I didn't know whether he was good or not. but he was very, very good at helping me with a lot of the students and monitoring these students and getting them to me, because he was my recruiter. He made most of these things happen because he was in the position in the classroom, in the hallways, in the cafeteria, in the gym, and this is how everything happened. And if I have forgotten to mention anyone, please forgive me. But I have to give credit to all of my teams from 1980 to 2001, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of my favorite athletes I ever coached, and my favorite athletes of all time, Mr. Mckenna, who is no longer with us. I love you, and God bless you. And one thing that we had as a tradition of Roman, everybody that was all Catholic, all American, all state, that was for everybody that ever wore purple and gold and stepped on the track at Roman Catholic High School. All of our accomplishments, our championships, everything goes to the school, to the team, and to each other. We're brothers and we're family, and so I'm receiving this award tonight, but ladies and gentlemen, it belongs to my team and my family. Thank you.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, most of Coach Mars's teams, their practices encompass the basement, the hallways, and the steps at Broad and Vine. Quite an accomplishment without a track. Our next inductee is Paul Taylor from the class of '56. As America moved into the mid-1950s, football finally began to emerge as a major professional sport. However, its popularity at the collegiate and high school levels remained at an all-time high. It was during this time that a punishing, fast, and elusive running back tore through the defensive backfields of Catholic League opponents with his unique running style. Even KLA alums who finally recalled the great 47 city championship team couldn't help but shake their heads in amazement at the incredible running back who now wore the purple and gold. The Catholic Standard and Times said his speed has proven to be more than a threat to many an unfortunate opponent. He would leave bewildered tacklers grasping at air as they became spectators themselves, for all they could do was watch. That running back was Paul Taylor. Hopes ran high for the KLA football team in the autumn of 1955. Paul Taylor was a returning senior after being chosen as an all-Catholic running back his junior year. Future RCH Hall of Fame running back Stan Bialos was also in the backfield, and Roman had a powerful offensive line. LaSalle, Bishop Neumann, and Roman were expected to compete for the title. And it came as no surprise that the three schools wound up with a combined total of 16 All-Catholics at season end, of which Roman had 5. The anticipated game between Roman and defending city champ Bishop Neumann at Cahill Field was one for the ages. Despite outplaying the Pirates, the Kahlites lost on a late interception return for a TD. But the play that all in attendance remembered the most was the 54-yard slashing touchdown run by Paul Taylor. The Catholic Standard Times said the treat of the afternoon was Taylor's sensational 54-yard run for a touchdown. A Roman alum who was there that day said it was the most memorable run in Catholic high history. Paul Taylor was once again selected as an All-Catholic by the Philadelphia Catholic Standard and the Philadelphia Inquirer. He was also a member of the RCH Jets track team and competed in the 100-yard and 200-yard dash, as well as the long jump. After graduation, Paul joined the United States Air Force and played running back for the Anderson Air Force Base Panthers while stationed in Guam. The team played in the highly competitive Pacific Air Command League, and Paul was selected Honorable Mention All-Pacific in 1959. He worked for Boeing Vertol and for UGI for 31 years before retiring in 2001. Paul currently volunteers for the LIHEAP program in Pennsylvania, where he helps low-income families. The Roman Catholic Sports Hall of Fame Committee proudly inducts Paul Taylor, class of '56, into the Roman Catholic Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Kaleites, and guests and friends. Thank you, Tom. Tom, Kearney. I like to walk, and I should be standing still. I live in Lancaster County, and I've lived there for the last 38 years. And Tom Kearney called me back in December, left a message on my phone to say that I had won this magnificent award. And my good friend Tom Bell and I had just come from a game with West Catholic at the championship game in Hershey. And Tom's voicemail was on the phone, and it said, "Congratulations, Paul, you've just won the Hall of Fame nomination and whatnot. I have been looking for you for 6 years. I have been out on the loop now for 38 years, and Tom hunted me down." Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. And now, I would like to first say I appreciate, I'm blessed, I'm privileged, I'm honored, and I'm also very, very humbled to be selected to this hallowed Hall of Fame. The Glasscotts, the Evans, the Bob Evans. I have one over there on 25, table 25. Will you please stand up, Lou? Table 25, in fact, you all stand up. The best table in the house. 56. Year 56, good people. I also like to thank my, I don't have quite the contingent because my family's all around, one guy's in Montana, two's in Arizona, Phoenix. And unfortunately my better half passed. But I have my brothers and my best friend of 38 years. Preston, would you please stand up? Preston's a graduate of Roman Catholic of 1953. He played with Glasgow. Did you not? Ward number 30. I remember seeing him play defensive back. He batted this white ball down at Shy Park at night. And I said to myself, "Self, I'm going to be like that one day." Thank you, Preston, retired General, Brigadier General, Air Force. My younger brother, Ronald, would you please stand up? Both of these guys came all the way from Delaware to give me this honor, and I really appreciate that. Ronald's a graduate of 61, also followed Preston's footsteps and playing football. Now, last but not least, my mentor, my friend of 48 years, Tom Bell from Drexel Hill. Tom, we've been friends when it wasn't popular to be friends back in the day. And we had a lot of confrontations with other people, should I say. And I love him for it. He's like a brother to me. And I must say that there's a lady out there, Arnold. She is, her name is Jenny. She has a track uniform on. She wants you, Arnold, out there when this is all over. Okay, buddy? Now, I played in an era where there were no plastic helmets. There were just these leather hats, or plastic, not plastic, but leather helmets. And during the summertime, John Hoban, Goldie Graham, our coaches, people I love, respect, we weren't able to take the hats off, so consequently, sweat. And there weren't any salt tappers either then. Which is, in that era, back in the day, you might see a lot of people my age who played football for those two guys with very little hair. We also did not have the the privilege or maybe the money to wear the nose guards, the face guards they call them now, right? Face masks. Well, we didn't have that, which is another reason why you might see some of us my age with nose that might be crooked. And then we didn't have mouthpieces. So you might see some guys my age who played in that era with a couple teeth. There's no such thing as cups. So you might see some guys my age who played in that era who might talk a little higher. Thank you. It's my privilege to have been here.
How do I follow that up? Our third special award for this evening is the Joseph Goldie Graham Memorial Award for Loyalty. This year's recipient, who everyone knows, is Tom Kearney, class of '58. Tom is a distinguished alumnus and a member of the Roman Catholic High School Board of Trustees. He was the chairman for the 2008 Alumni Memorial Mass and Communion Breakfast. He is the former chairman of the Roman Catholic Sports Hall of Fame Committee and is still very, very active to this day. I just read the emails on a daily basis. And the 2007 recipient of the Loyalty Award at the RCHS commencement, forgive me. And I know this from personal knowledge, there wasn't a band activity or an ice hockey game involving one of his sons that Tom wasn't in attendance. And if you saw Action News during the World Series, you saw the Kearney family in all their Phillies pinstripes. Quite possibly the biggest Philadelphia Phillies fans around. The recipient of the Joseph Goldie Graham Memorial Award for Loyalty is Tom Kearney, class of '58.
Wow. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. What a pleasure to follow Paul Taylor at the podium. I can still close my eyes and witness that 54-yard run, and I'm the alum that's mentioned in his bio. It's proud. It is indeed my pleasure to accept the Joseph A. Goldie Graham Memorial Award, and I want to thank the Sports Hall of Fame Committee for this great honor. Goldie was my football coach, and he was Paul Taylor's coach also. A great mentor and a great gentleman. And I want to thank family and friends and all the vocal support of my family and friends for being here. I have always believed that when you are honored by your peers, then you have arrived. I arrived here today with the love and respect of my lovely wife, Judy, who counsels me quite often. She counsels me quite often and helped enormously with the raising of our boys and running our beautiful household. Thank you, honey. I arrived here today with the love and respect of our sons Tom, Kevin, Matt, Tim, and Ryan, and that great group of daughters-in-law, Leanne, Carrie, Carly, Tina, and soon-to-be daughter-in-law, Kate. Thank you all. But I also arrived here today because I stood too close to the likes of John Gillen, Jim McSherry, Bob Evans, John Kane, Ed Graham, John Hoban, and my dear friend Dick Trotter. You see, those guys, and plenty more like them, infected me with a Roman osmosis, a kind of thing that is incurable once it settles in your system. And I want to say this all took place around the centennial of Roman in 1989 and 1990, when I got involved with the 100 years of athletics committee that evolved into the Sports Hall of Fame committee, nurtured by a labor of love to recognize the finest athletes to wear the purple and gold. I was in this company of similar-minded Kaleites, and we have succeeded tremendously, as you are witnessing this evening. I would like to thank two of my classmates who persuaded me to get involved with the alumni back in the 60s. Jim Powers, who is looking down on us from heaven, and John Schwarin, who unfortunately is a patient at Inglis House. Even though I was active with my class of 1958 with reunions and representing the class on the Board of Trustees, it was my involvement with the Sports Hall of Fame that catapulted me to be a better serving alumnus. I want to thank former President Rectors Monsignor Francis Beach and Father Paul Brandt for all their support when they were at Roman. Thanks also to our present day President Rector, Father Joseph Vanguard, again of the great class of 1977, and Principal Bob O'Neill and their administration and staff for the excellent support they have given me and the Hall of Fame Committee. Thanks also to former alumni staff members John Francello, Beth Ann Myrick, and Kim Enoch. And of course, the present day director, Denise LaPera, and her wonderful staff of Burn Man, Annie Vasallo, and Lisa Wolfington. We found out today that these girls have it. That induction ceremony at Roman today was just fantastic. Thank you all. My nickname's Mo. I don't know if you know that. Now I'm going to talk from my heart. What I do today for Roman is something I learned from the gentleman I mentioned earlier, the guys that infected me, the guys that passed the baton of leadership on to me, the guys that taught me how to give back, the guys that helped me show a newer generation of alumni the love and honor we hold so deeply for Roman Catholic High School. Thank you.
Just a quick commercial, ladies and gentlemen. There are videos of tonight's banquet available from Mr. Joe Malizia, who's behind the camera. Mr. Malizia, you'll always see at the top of the stands during just about any Philadelphia Catholic League football game and quite a few basketball and baseball games. And he spends his spare time when he's not behind the video camera on the golf course. But if you're interested in purchasing a video, please see Mr. Joe Malizia at the conclusion of this evening's banquet. Also, I just heard very shortly ago that tonight's attendance is the second largest attendance in our 19 years. Our next inductee is Ed Hoban from the class of 1971. The late 1960s and early 70s were the beginning of Roman Catholic High School's unprecedented rise back to prominence in the sport of basketball. Tough, smart, and skillful players from Roman's feeder parishes began to make their mark in the Catholic League as the Kaleites stormed to multiple Catholic League championships in 69, 73, and 74. Led by their young, aggressive, and charismatic coach, Coach Speedy Morris, Roman's basketball program slowly reestablished itself as one of the premier programs in the city. During this time, there were certain players who epitomized this new breed of gritty basketball players from the intimidating third-floor gym at Broad and Vine. One of those players was Ed Hoban. As a starting forward his junior year, Ed was known for his unselfish play, tenacious rebounding, and leadership ability. As a senior, he was selected as co-captain, along with Hall of Famer John Beecroft, of a deep and talented Roman squad that was anticipated to contend for the Catholic League title. As expected, Hoban's play that year was outstanding. He led the team in rebounding and was second in scoring as he averaged 13.8 points per game. In a memorable performance against eventual Catholic League champion St. Joe's Prep, Ed pulled down over 20 rebounds and scored over 20 points as the K-Lights beat their arch rival. Ed's stellar play earned him second-team All-Catholic honors, and he was also selected as a two-time All-Star in the Archbishop Ryan Christmas Tournament. Ed earned a full athletic scholarship to Philadelphia College's Textiles and Science, now Philadelphia University, and was a 4-year member of the varsity basketball team under Coach Herb McGee. He was a 2-year starter as a junior and senior, the senior team captain, and the team's co-MVP in 1975. The 1975 team was excellent as they went 21-7 and was a first-team All-ECAC conference selection. That team also earned a berth to the Eastern region of the NCAA Division II tournament. Ed was also selected as a Big Five All-Star in the Big Five First USA MS Liberty Bell Classic. Ed also earned his bachelor's and master's degrees in business administration at Textile as well. Ed has worked for over 25 years in the medical device industry, working in sales, marketing, and clinical development of implantable technologies used in the treatment of heart and vascular disease. He is currently Vice President of Sales and Marketing of the U.S. subsidiary of UK-based Lombard Medical Technologies, PLC. Ed and his wife Patty have 3 sons, Patrick, Kevin, and Michael, and they reside in St. Genevieve Parish in Flowertown. The Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame proudly inducts Ed Hoban, class of 1971, into the Roman Catholic Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everyone. I want to first offer my congratulations to my fellow inductees and special award recipients tonight. I'm truly honored to be included with you in this event. Please let me acknowledge first my appreciation to some very special people who are here tonight. First, my wife, Patty. We just celebrated our 29th wedding anniversary last week. Patty will tell you the key to a successful marriage is love and respect. She will also tell you it doesn't hurt that I've spent about 15 of those 29 years away from home traveling on business. My sons, Patrick, Kevin, and Michael, are here. They're St. Joe's preppers. Please don't hold that against them. They're great guys, swimmers and scholars from the prep. I'm very proud of them. Although I've learned it's very true what they say. You can always tell a prep guy, but you can't tell him much. Especially in my house. I also want to acknowledge some great friends who are here tonight. Kevin Dougherty from Archbishop Carroll, and my teammate at Textile, and my best man at my wedding. If you ask Herb McGee who was the best shooter that he ever coached in over 40 years at Philadelphia Textile, instantly he would tell you Kevin Dougherty. Kevin was and is amazing to watch shoot a basketball. Also, Michael Arison from Cardinal O'Hara and LaSalle College. The Arison name is synonymous with Philadelphia basketball, beginning with Michael's father, Paul, the Villanova and NBA legend. Mike is known for his great charity fundraising activities in memory of his daughter, Stephanie. Mike and I have played against or with each other on basketball courts all over Philadelphia since we were in high school. And we've played together just last Monday night. We'll probably play Monday night coming up. Some guys just don't know when to give it up, Mike. But Kevin and I are still with you. From Roman, my teammate and Hall of Fame fellow inductee and the coach of the Indiana Pacers, Jim O'Brien, is here tonight. And his lovely wife, Sharon. my coach forever, Speedy Morris. And members of my favorite team are here. That's bad. The famous Sea Isle City crabbing team. For 37 years in running, they have been reenacting the first crabbing trip that the group made together. It's been going on for so long, it's become a well-known annual event in Sea Isle. It's kind of our version of Washington crossing the Delaware, but with the ice in the coolers rather than in the water. The next crabbing trip is the first Friday in August. Everyone here is welcome to join us in the back bay or for the post-crabbing activities at the Carousel Bar. And maybe this year, we might even bring back some crabs. True. It's a treat for all of you to be here, for me to see you all here tonight. I really appreciate your support and friendship. When Pat Smith told me that I was going to be inducted into the Roman Sports Hall of Fame, I was happy to hear it and pleasantly surprised. I have attended many of the induction dinners over the years and have known or met many of the inductees. To be included with such a distinguished group of athletes who have worn the purple and gold is truly a thrill, especially to join my teammates who have been inducted before me, Obi, John B. Croft, and Chico Singleton. I'm still getting used to the idea, and I'm very much humbled to be recognized with them. I certainly want to thank the SHOF committee for this honor, but I want to take this unique opportunity to publicly thank Roman Catholic High School for something even greater that it gave me so long ago. Quite frankly, Roman and the people who make up the community associated with it gave me my life. Exactly 40 years ago, the life that I knew abruptly ended and a new one began. As a sophomore at Roman, my father passed away unexpectedly, and 2 months later, my sister died from a battle with cancer. For anyone to lose 2/3 of their family in so short a time is devastating at any age. But for a 15-year-old, it stops you cold, and the temptation is very strong to withdraw from life and to hide away in confusion and self-pity. It was this time when I was very much in need of direction, support, and inspiration. All that I needed, and so much more, came from Roman Catholic, and so many people associated with this wonderful school. The Roman community would not allow me or my mother to feel alone or unsupported. The life that I have enjoyed all these years since those difficult days began with the help and encouragement from so many people connected to Roman. My uncle, John Hoban, the great football coach, in whose name an award is given at this dinner every year, and who was a mentor to so many at Roman in the 40s and 50s, became the father figure in my life. I spent many hours at my uncle's kitchen table, listening and learning from one of the best people Roman has ever produced. My cousins John and Dan Hoban became my brothers. They gave me encouragement and were always there for me when I needed them. I was one of the first that John helped to guide through Roman athletics. He was a big brother, not only to me, but to so many others through the years. And his memory, as well as his father's, is still a guiding force at Roman. Dan has always been for me a wonderful example of how to live life with faith, optimism, and true concern for others. If you're lucky enough to be on Dan's email list, you get a regular supply of funny and uplifting emails that help you get through the day. Dan sent me a quote recently that tells you all you need to know about Dan. Life isn't about how to survive the storm, but how to dance in the rain. And Dan is one great dancer. Dan and his wife Claire are the image of love and devotion, and they inspire everyone who knows them. And there is certainly no greater example of loyalty to Roman Catholic High School. I am forever indebted to Speedy Morris and his assistant Barry Fisher, who took me under their wings and mentored me and instilled in me a love for the game and showed me the pathway that basketball became in my life. Great teachers, teammates, and classmates all inspired me and made the difference in my life then, and their example in so many ways continues to guide me today. I am very grateful and I appreciate this honor today, but Roman has given me so much more, so much more. It has given me everything. Thank you, and may God bless Roman Catholic High.
Our next inductee, ladies and gentlemen, is Will Mcknight, class of 1995. Sometimes it's easy to watch a great athlete and to think to ourselves it all seems so easy and effortless. We assume that these athletes were blessed with God-given abilities, and they just naturally excel because of it. It's easy to draw these conclusions, but in doing so, we overlook the obstacles that sometimes had to be overcome. We conveniently forget the hard work and effort that is required for any athlete to succeed, especially when that athlete excelled in two sports. Will Mcknight said that he had to overcome many obstacles even before he entered Roman, but he and his family were determined to succeed. Will's first priority was to get the best education possible, and athletics would follow accordingly. Roman was the place he wanted to be. As a basketball player, Will was the consummate sixth man. In a pivotal game at Archbishop Carroll his junior year, Will came off the bench late in the game and nailed a three-point shot, his only shot of the game, with 4 seconds remaining to tie the game, and Roman eventually prevailed in overtime. Later that season, Will came off the bench again in playoff games against Archbishop Carroll and North Catholic to score 15 and 16 points respectively, as Roman won their 6th straight Catholic League title. In his senior year, Will was again the 6th man on a team ranked as high as number 2 by USA Today. Against DeMatha, who was ranked number 1, Will hit a running jumper at the buzzer to give the Carolites the win in the Gonzaga Invitational at American University. He averaged double figures for a team that season that beat DeMatha twice and won the Alhambra Invitational Championship. In track and field, Will was simply incredible. In 1994, he was the indoor state champion in the long jump. In the Catholic League Championship that same year, he was the triple jump champion with a record leap of 48 feet, 11 and a half inches. In 1995, Will was the Catholic League champion in the 100 meter, the long jump, and the triple jump, in which he broke his own record set the year before. From 1994 to 1995, he set a Roman Catholic high school record that still stands today with 6 Catholic League championship wins. 100 meter, long jump, triple jump, twice, and the 400 relay, twice. Following Roman, Will attended Essex County College in Newark. When asked to provide his bio, he could have easily filled several pages with his athletic accomplishments, but he barely mentioned them. He wrote that Roman was the beginning of something new and wonderful for me. In the classroom, there were great teachers and fellow classmates that made the days at Roman some of the best that I can remember. Being involved with sports at Roman, I was able to travel the country and represent myself and my school. I excelled in sports while representing the purple and gold. Now with my wife and 2-year-old boy, I'm happy to say that I'm a family man. The Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame inducts Will Mcknight from the class of 95 to the Roman Catholic Sports Hall of Fame.
First off, I would like to say hello and thank you. This is a wonderful occasion for me. It's been a long time since I've had any type of award or any acknowledgement of what I've done. Because after I left college,
my life kind of like went downhill, and things just didn't seem the same, or wasn't going to be the same as I was thinking in my mind. But this is just great, and I'm gonna cherish this for the rest of my life. And I'd like to thank everybody that knows me and that I know and that I'm willing to meet. That's, you know what I mean, a part of everybody's family. And I basically, I didn't prepare anything. I just wanted to just talk off the top of my head and everything. But I wish the best for Roman and all his alumni and everybody that's affiliated with us, and hope that Roman legacy can live on forever. And thank you very much, and I appreciate this award that I got.
Quick story about Will Mcknight. I was a senior when Will was a freshman. First person I ever saw in a game, in a freshman game, dunk in a freshman game. Our next award is the Patrick E. Ward Scholar Athlete Memorial Award. This award is named for Patrick Ward, who was raised in the St. Francis Xavier Parish and then went to Roman Catholic, where he graduated in 1966. During his years at Roman, Patty was a guard on the football team, ran track, and sang in the Glee Club. He was voted most popular student in his senior year. Patty was killed in Vietnam in August of 1968. There's a park named in his honor at 24th and Aspen Streets in the Fairmount section. The recipient of this year's Patrick E. Ward Scholar Athlete Memorial Award is John Hildebrand, class of '09. Roman Catholic High School's class of 2009 has many outstanding students. However, few have achieved this greatly as John Hillenbrand. From the very moment he entered Roman in September of 2005, John set very high expectations for himself. He spent the next 4 years surpassing those expectations. After graduating from St. William's Elementary School in the Lawncrest section, John began his career as an honors freshman. Taking the most challenging courses became the norm for John, as his thirst for knowledge was ever present. Despite a difficult course load that included honors physics, honors Latin, and honors pre-calculus, John maintained a class ranking within the top 3. This year is the hallmark of John's academic career, as John is taking advanced placement courses in calculus, English, United States history, and psychology. Outside the classroom, John is equally impressive. John is a member of the Big Brother program, where he mentors freshmen during homeroom. For 2 years, John was a member of the indoor track and field team. However, John feels most comfortable when he is on the baseball diamond. John has been a 4-year member of the baseball team. Excelling at the freshman and junior varsity levels, John has now taken his rightful place as a starting third baseman for the varsity team. Besides being a tremendously gifted athlete, John is a quiet leader who inspires by example. No other player on the team works harder, is more coachable, and is more supportive of his teammates than John Hildebrand. As impressive as John is, the future is just as bright for him. John's college choices are Lebanon Valley College, Temple University, and the University of Pennsylvania. For these reasons, John Hildebrand was an obvious choice among the faculty to receive the Patrick E. Ward Scholar Athlete Memorial Award. John Hildebrand, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I must admit, back in 8th grade when I was looking at high schools, Roman was not at the top of my list. In fact, I was not even planning on taking Roman's entrance test had my mom not signed me up without my knowledge. But after visiting the school a few times, I got the feeling that there was something special about Roman. So I decided to come here. After a few months, let alone my 4 years at Roman, I discovered that I was right. There definitely was something special about this school. There's a brotherhood at Roman, among Roman students and alumni, that bridge neighborhood and cultural gaps, as Roman now pulls students from numerous areas in and around Philadelphia. Other all-boys schools may claim to have similar feelings of fraternity, but none come close to what Roman Catholic has. This banquet tonight proves it. Roman alumni from all different time periods coming together to celebrate the successes of their fellow and future alumni. I am proud and honored to be included in such an event. The Scholar Athlete Award was begun in honor of Patrick Ward, a distinguished Roman alumnus who gave his life for our country in Vietnam. I've done my best to carry on Roman's tradition of scholarship, athleticism, and sportsmanship. I'd like to thank all my teachers who have recognized my efforts and chose me for this award. I also could not have made it this far in school and athletics without my family. My parents have always supported me throughout my school career, and all my years of baseball, they probably missed fewer games than I have fingers on one hand. Again, thank you to the Sports Hall of Fame for having me tonight. It's an honor to be here with such prestigious company. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Dave Belleringni, class of 1994. It is often easy to overlook the dedication and effort it takes for a student to participate in a high school sport. To distinguish yourself in one sport can be an accomplishment on its own, but to excel at two sports while still meeting your obligations as a student is certainly commendable and warrants our recognition. Dave Belleringni was one of those very few athletes at Roman Catholic High School who not only played both baseball and football, but he played multiple positions in those sports and earned all Catholic honors in both. Dave came to Roman Catholic from Stella Maris Parish in South Philadelphia. In football, Dave played quarterback and the defensive back position. In his junior year, Dave played defensive back. He was also the quarterback for the undefeated Southern Division Championship 1992 football team that played in the Philadelphia Catholic League title game. He was known as one of the best cover guys and open field tacklers in the Catholic League. Dave threw 2 touchdown passes in the playoff opener win against Cardinal O'Hara. The following week, in a memorable semifinal playoff game against Monsignor Bonner, Dave ran for 3 touchdowns. One of those TDs was an incredible 85-yard run on a quarterback sneak, by the way, that cemented the game for the Carolites and put them in the CL title game. In his senior year, Dave continued to shine as he led the Carolites to the playoffs once again. Dave was selected as a second-team All-Catholic in 1992 at defensive back and a first-team All-Catholic in 1993 at quarterback. A versatile athlete, Dave also played on a Romans baseball team. As a sophomore, Dave was called up to the varsity squad in mid-season from junior varsity to back up the catching and second base positions. Dave began to emerge as an exceptional pitcher on Roman's baseball team in 1993 and 94, and he was chosen as a first-team All-Catholic during his senior year. Dave and his wife Dana have 3 children, Nicolette, David, and Giovanna. Dave also owns his own tile business called Titan Tile Company. The Sports Hall of Fame Committee now inducts Dave Belleringni from the class of 94 into the Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm going to be real quick here because it's a lot easier to play in front of you than speak right now. Well, I'd like to thank my wife. She was there even when I was playing. I'd like to thank my kids. They listen to my stories now about Roman. I'm sure they're getting tired of hearing them. Now I got a couple more. But I'd like to thank my parents. They were there every game. My father, every practice, every game. I'd like to thank my teammates. They made it easy for me. They pushed me to try harder, play harder to win. Mr. Quinn, who's not here, he was our coach, he was our friend, and he pushed us really hard. I'd like to thank you.
Our next special award, ladies and gentlemen, is the John A. Gillen of 33 Interleague Award. The criteria for this award: documented excellence as an athlete or coach in present or past competition with Roman teams, or superior achievement as an athlete or coach in the Philadelphia sports community. Our recipient this year is Coach Dan Dougherty, the head basketball coach at Episcopal Academy. To read Coach Doc's resume is quite impressive. He has a bachelor's degree from St. Joseph University, a master's degree from Villanova University. He was a co-captain at St. Joe's in 1956 and 1957. He coached at such schools as St. Pius X, Malvern Prep, Pencrest High School, and presently at Episcopal Academy. Also was the head freshman coach at Villanova University, as well as the assistant varsity coach at Villanova. Also, the head coach at the United States Military Academy. His overall coaching record is 804 wins and 392 losses. He was inducted into the St. Joseph's University Hall of Fame in 1983, the Pennsylvania Montgomery chapter of the Sports Hall of Fame in 2006, the Pennsylvania Delaware County chapter in 1994, as well as Episcopal Academy's Hall of Fame in 2008. His honors and awards: among the Newman College, the Sports, Spirituality, and Character Development Lifetime Achievement Award in 2008, the FedEx Coach of the Year in 2006, the Mike Mayock Distinguished Teacher Coach Counselor Award in 2001, the William Markwood Award for Dedication, Integrity, and Character Development in Basketball for the Philadelphia area in 1999, the Herb Good Award for Outstanding Contributions to Philadelphia Basketball in 1997, and the Richard Borkowski Coaching Award in 1994. Most of you will remember Coach Doc as the head coach of McDonald's All-Americans, Gerald Henderson and Wayne Ellington. The recipient of the John A. Gillen Class of 33 Interleague Award goes to Coach Dan Dougherty.
Isn't it amazing having fellows like Wayne Ellington and Gerald Henderson can do with you getting awards? And we might as well get out of our systems right now. I'm a St. Joe's Prep graduate. All right, now that said, that's fine. I am so honored to be honored by Roman Catholic. Roman Catholic, St. Joe's Prep, synonymous. Heated rivals, friends to the end. And this forum gives me the opportunity to speak about Roman graduates who have played a key role in my profession, that as a math teacher, that as a basketball coach, that as a father, a husband, and a Christian gentleman. My very first teaching assignment was as a 23-year-old up at St. Pius X at Pottstown. The principal of the school, a graduate of Roman, Father Francis Kimball. At St. Pius X, I taught 6 different courses. I was the assistant football coach, the head basketball coach, the JV basketball coach, and the head baseball coach. for the lively sum of $3,200 plus $800 for coaching. So $4,000, I owe a lot to Father Kimball. He got the most for a little. I want to also thank my escort up here, Bob Glassgod. Bob gave me my first anxiety attack when I was 14 years old. My wife and I are from St. Helens Parish up in Alumni. Now that necessitated me getting over to Broad Alumni to take the subway down to 17th and Girard to where the prep was. Well, I'm a 14-year-old freshman at Logan, Wyoming, Hunting Park, Erie Avenue. The train starts filling up with these Roman guys. Well, it comes to Girard, and being the gentlemen that they are, they let the working class people get out, and then they block it for the preppers. As a result, I had to go down to Race and Vine, cross over, come back, was late and got jugged, justice under God, thus my anxiety attack. You still owe me a quarter for the return trip. The other education into the Roman family, we used to hang around after school playing in the gym, and in would walk the Maloney brothers. And I don't know whether there are many people out there, you probably remember Jimmy as being John Chaney's assistant coach down at Temple, and the head coach at Niagara, and the head coach that recruited Calvin Murphy to Niagara when he was there. Well, the two of them would walk into the gym, and of course it would be my friend Ed O'Malley against the two Maloney brothers. Now, Jimmy was a shooter. His brother Jack would say to you, I'm covering you. If you don't call any fouls, I won't call any either, okay? Thus, we would battle 2-on-2, day after day, and Jack never called one foul in his life. It was always you running into his elbow. Thus, my reputation when I got to St. Joe's was the fact that I was considered an aggressive player, borderline dirty, but my mother kept claiming it was aggressiveness. And I want to thank Jack for that reputation that he provided me. Being invited here tonight is wonderful. I have so much respect for the Kaolites. Playing against Dennis Seddon's team, being in the same neighborhood as Speedy. In fact, my mother-in-law loves Speedy so much. When he was at LaSalle, she would sit in front of the television with her beads going for Speedy. When it was my turn, she had a voodoo doll that she kept sticking. We had an incident where the phone rang up in Roxborough. It was 5:30 in the morning, I guess, and she was living by herself down in Alumni at that time, and she had fallen, and she was having trouble. It had taken her a couple hours to get to the phone to call me. Well, as she's relating this to me, I said, well, why don't you call Speedy first? He'll go take care of you. That's your boy. Two things I try to get across to our players through the years, and this is my 50th year teaching / coaching is, how bad do you want to be good? How bad do you as a player want to be a better player? How bad do you as a student want to be a better student? Are you willing to make the sacrifices? Are you willing to turn away from the things that you know deep in your heart you should not be doing? The other is that I like and I hit a lot on is that they have to develop an attitude of gratitude. Grateful to their parents for providing them with the opportunity to get a good education. Grateful to God that they have the ability to go out and play football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse. We take our basketball team over to the Widener School, and we play the kids from Widener. When we get back in the van, I tell them, go home tonight, kneel down, thank God for what you got. Thank God for what your future can be. Thank God that you have the ability to play the sport that you choose to play. The committee, I want to follow and thank all of you for this presentation to me. Back in table 37 back there, I'd just like to identify some of the people who are back there. My son Dan, who was a starting fullback at Wake Forest for 4 years. My son Brian, who was an All-American, just recently inducted into the Maryland Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame as a 2-time All-American goalie in lacrosse. In fact, I was down to his induction. He gets brought out by some beautiful little dance team girl. I had Bob Glasscott escorting me up here. This committee could do a little bit better job, I'll tell you. My brother-in-law, Bill Hockenberry, and his wife, Sheila. Brian is also my assistant coach. Tom Cosseth and his wife, Denise, who is also my assistant coach. Tom is, not Denise. And Frank Hart, Frank Hart did all the inscriptions on the plaques. He works for Spike, so if something's wrong, really check it, because he's from the Northeast, and the nuns didn't teach him cursive writing up there. Through the years, I've had a number of great assistant coaches. Brian and Tom are two of the best. But also back there is the one coach who at times feels she's really the head coach, but she is my assistant coach and has been with me throughout all my travels, and that's my wife, Mary Ellen. An honor. Thanks to the committee. May the Kaleites always be the Kaleites. May, as you go into this century, continue this great tradition and continue to be the hallmark of Catholic education in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. Thank you.
Our next special award is the William Billy Markwood Humanitarian Award. The criteria for this award is a distinguished Roman alumnus whose participation in Catholic high sports has significantly enhanced the competitive and championship history of the high school. An individual whose post-Roman years have visibly brought honor to Thomas Cahill's dream. A major contributor in spirit and leadership in the advancement of the Roman Catholic community. This year's recipient is Reverend Monsignor Francis W. Beach, in the class of 1967. Monsignor Beach is presently the pastor of St. Simon and Jude Parish in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Monsignor was the 9th President Rector of Roman Catholic High School. He served as President Rector from 1990 through 1997 and really prepared Roman to lead into the 21st century. Without Monsignor Beach, there would be no Renaissance Hall, no River Field, and a full enrollment at Catholic High. Monsignor Beach, along with the late Mr. Edward Graham, were the two instrumental people that kept Catholic High as the flagship of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia Catholic school system. The William Billy Markwood Humanitarian Award. This year's recipient, Reverend Monsignor Francis W. Beach, class of 1967.
Thank you, everyone. Back in the middle of January, Tom Kearney gave me a call and told me that I was to be the recipient this year of the William Markwood Memorial Humanitarian Award. And I truly just sat there and I was amazed. I was saying, is this phone call for real? And after I hung up, I also went down the path of memory lane back to 1990 when Bobby Evans and John Gillen came and saw me 4 or 5 times that year, talking about their vision of starting this Sports Hall of Fame, what they wanted to do, who the committee was, and who the first recipients or inductees were going to be. I did everything I could to support their vision to recognize and honor and preserve the school's memory of outstanding student athletes of the past as we began the Sports Hall of Fame. Tonight, I am very, very honored to be numbered among the distinguished Kaolites who have received the Markwood Award. John McMenamin, William Tanzier, Dutchie Doyle, John Gillen, Bob Evans, and the last one to receive this award 3 years ago, Dick Trotter. Dick Trotter and I were very close friends, and I had the honor and the very difficult time of celebrating his funeral mass just a few months ago. These men were outstanding student athletes who brought honor to Thomas Cahill's dream and whose spirit and leadership advanced the Roman community. While I was never a great athlete, I did everything I could to support and expand the athletic program at Catholic High. While I was the rector at Catholic High, we added lacrosse, crew, ice hockey, and we were trying to start a wrestling program, but did not have the space at the time until the McSherry Hall was built. And Dave Falcione, as you heard, started the wrestling program there. While I was also the rector at Catholic High, Dick Trotter and Ed Graham and I worked for over a year to try to find a new football field, which we have today, River Field, when we lost the lease from the city for the Cahill Field. Over a year in negotiations, and we were finally able to have that lease for us for the future. I attended hundreds of sports competitions and was extremely proud of the successes and accomplishments of the students at Catholic High. But most of all, with the help of my very good friend, Ed Graham, and everyone who is aware of Ed and myself over the 90s, 90 to 97, know that we were like two peas in the pod, if you would. Everywhere you saw me, you saw him. Everywhere you saw him, you saw me. And together, we worked very hard with the support of the Board of Advisors and our loyal alumni. We set goals for advancing Catholic High academically, spiritually, athletically, restoring and expanding the facilities of Catholic High. Like all of you, the purple and gold flows through my veins, and I am so proud to be part of the fabric, the tradition, and the legacy of Catholic High. I just acknowledge tonight my mother Teresa, who is here, my brother John, my sister Kathy, my sister-in-law Michelle, my very good friends, that includes everybody here, but in particular, the Scotts and the Burries and the Gabriels who came to be with us tonight to support me. And to those who are the recipients of the inductees and the recipients of the special awards tonight, may we never forget the memories of this night. Thank you very much.
I can personally say that I was a student back at Roman when Monsignor Beach was our rector, and that was an exciting time to be at Catholic High. Our next inductee, or inductees I should say, is the 1997 Philadelphia Catholic League Championship soccer team. For decades, Catholic League soccer has been dominated by schools from the Northern Division. It was rare when a Southern Division soccer team could ever hope to compete for the Catholic League crown. However, in the early 1990s, the KLA soccer program began to turn the corner. In 1993, Catholic High played in the Catholic League Championship game and only lost 1-0. Despite the loss, that team clearly served notice that the tide was beginning to turn. And it set the stage for the emergence of one of the greatest teams in Catholic High sports history. In 1997, Roman Catholic High School fielded one of the most formidable and talented Philadelphia area soccer teams in recent memory. Their 1997 season and their memorable march to the Catholic League title will forever be remembered and revered in the annals of RCHS sports history. Led by Coach Pat Kane Sr., the 97 soccer team was truly remarkable, and their accomplishments are stunning. From the time that they were freshmen, these guys were determined to win, Kane said. Their goalie, Josh Shoppy, said that many of us played together for so long, even before entering Roman, that it definitely contributed to our success. That team was the first and only RCHS soccer team to win the Catholic League Championship. They were the first PCL soccer team with 2 undefeated seasons. They were only the second Southern Division school to ever win the Catholic League title, and the first since 1982. The team only gave up 7 goals the entire regular season, and had 5 All-Catholics, 2 All-City, and 1 All-State player on their roster. Their path to the championship wasn't easy, but it certainly wasn't a fluke. To emerge as a champion, they had to defeat the defending champion, Archbishop Ryan, in the semifinals, and the previous year's runner-up, North, in the finals. In the Catholic League Championship game, All-State midfielder James McGuigan and All-Catholic Anthony Caruso each tallied a goal as the KLAs beat perennial soccer powerhouse North Catholic by the score of 2-1. The 97 soccer team is not only one of the greatest teams to ever wear the purple and gold, but is now considered one of the greatest soccer teams in the history of the Catholic League. I think this team would have matched up well with any of the great teams in CL soccer history, Pat Kane said. Remember this team, for it's quite possible that a soccer team of this caliber will never again be seen again at Broad and Vine. The Sports Hall of Fame Committee is proud to induct the 1997 Philadelphia Catholic League champion, Roman Catholic 1997 soccer team. Accepting for the team is head coach Pat Kane Sr.
We're going to try to make this as fast as we possibly can. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks everyone for coming tonight. To all the inductees, great job, guys. Your youth must have been a great time, please. First of all, John, do me a favor, man the back door, don't let nobody out. Don't let them out, John, we got a lot to go through here. We're going to bring the players up. Okay. First player is Bobby Addington. Anthony Caruso. Joe Beck. Pat Kane Jr. Pat Dolan. Richie Heller. Matt Agravino. Kevin McDonald. Paul Melicek. John, Pennsylvania, come on up. All right. Josh Shoppy. Brian Rhodes.
And head coach Pat King.
Okay, like the immortal James Cagney once said, I thank you, my son thanks you, and the coaching staff thank you. Played 1997 soccer team. Thank you very much.
Our final inductee, ladies and gentlemen, is head coach Dennis Sutton. Roman Catholic High School has been blessed with many great players and teams in its illustrious basketball history. However, it is not just great players that make great teams. Without the leadership, guidance, skill, and effort of a great coach, teams can never attain their full potential. From 1987 through 2008, one of the greatest head coaches in Philadelphia high school basketball history paced the well-worn floors of the tiny third-floor gym at Broad and Vine. His teams were legendary, his records were remarkable, and his accomplishments were unrivaled. However, through his successful career, he remained a humble individual. An ex-player said of him, "Every coach should take a page from his book. It was always about the team and the school, not him." That coach was Dennis Sutton. Hailing from the Port Richmond section of Philadelphia, Dennis Sutton is a prototypical Philly basketball guy. He is a member of North Catholic High School's Sports Hall of Fame, and his career coaching statistics are stunning. Coach Sutton was an assistant coach at Roman from 1982 through 1986, and the K-Lights won 2 Catholic League titles during that time. Hired as the head coach in 1987, his Roman Catholic teams won 10 Catholic League championships, 6 straight from 1989 through 1994, 12 Southern Division titles, and 4 National Alhambra Catholic championships. Coach Sutton has the most wins in Roman Catholic history, 516. That's an average of 23 per year, playing in one of the toughest divisions in the nation, the Philadelphia Catholic League, as well as a national schedule. Those 516 wins include an incredible 40 playoff wins. He has the highest winning percentage of any coach in history against Philadelphia Catholic League teams at 84.4%. During a remarkable stretch from 1990 through 1992, his Roman teams recorded 50 consecutive wins versus Catholic League teams. And in a clear sign of respect and admiration from the local basketball community, Coach Seddon was chosen as the coach of the Philadelphia High School All 20th Century team, which featured Will Chamberlain and Tom Gola. Despite his amazing accomplishments, Dennis Seddon remains a humble man whose primary concerns were always his players and Roman. He is most proud of the fact that 99% of his academically qualified players went on to college, and that 32 of his former players are now coaches. You use the game to get an education, because that's what it's all about, he told an Inquirer reporter when he announced his retirement. I cringed any time I saw a reference to Dennis Seddon's basketball team. This was always Roman Catholic's basketball team. It was always about the players. I just happened to be there. Seddon has worked for the Philadelphia Department of Recreation for 30 years. He recently retired as Roman Catholic's coach in 2008 and is now the supervisor of Sion Playground in Port Richmond. The Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame Committee is proud to induct Coach Dennis Seddon in the Roman Catholic High School Sports Hall of Fame.
I know that many of you are clapping because I'm the last person. I understand that. And I'll try to talk quick because the suit has to get back by midnight. One thing I have to get straight though. Dan, Coach Dan Dock, you got paid to coach? Father, we got to talk about that. And before I get started, somebody left a note up here. I have no idea. It says, Quizzo is held Wednesday nights at the Henry James, and Rolling Rocks are half price. I don't know who left that up there. If they weren't half price before, hopefully they are now after that plug. You know, nights like this, they bring back a lot of memories. And I do remember the first time that I was in this building, and I was actually sitting all the way in the back, in the last table, in the last seat, and it was 1991. And I remember being so proud that one of my players was honored as the first scholar athlete, Josh Wagner. And that's the first time I was in this building, and I just happen to remember that tonight as things go flying through. And you know, because it is approaching midnight, I have done a lot of editing in my speech, as the people at my table can attest to. I spent the whole night writing and crossing out, crossing out, crossing out. And I'm going to try to change things. I'm going to talk about the people who made the Roman Catholic basketball program. You know, you never heard us talk about the basketball team. We always talked about the basketball program. So my few minutes are basically an extended thank you to the people that made the program what it is. And of course, we start with the players. It always begins and ends with the players, and I just want to thank them, especially for putting up some of our different ideas. We had ideas like some people think that the grooves and the steps at the building are from 120 years of wear and tear, when actually they are from the basketball team running up and down doing their conditioning drills. I was supposed to get a bigger laugh out of the players. Thanks. And we had some different ideas, like first or second day of practice, we would actually teach the players how to put socks on. And you're laughing, but it was important because the little things were important if you want to have a team, so that everybody wears it the same way. And everybody has their jersey tucked inside their shorts while you're doing warm-ups, because you only get one shot at making a first impression on people. And we just thought that was important. And my other funky thing was, in 22 years, I never used a whistle in practice, because I kind of had this crazy idea that if I could get the players to react to my voice and to my body language, that maybe in the games they would react to my voice and my body language. So I just want to thank the players first. A special thank you to all the players that are here tonight, and another special thank you to the number's now 37. We have 37 former players now coaching on various levels, and I'm very, very proud of that. Next, I want to thank my co-coaches. We call them co-coaches because we kind of shared responsibilities, and as some of you know, the old joke is, I was in charge of the wins, they were in charge of the losses. Sometimes they did their job too well, but I just want to thank them. And in terms of service, Jeff Stepp, Pat McKee, Rodney Handy, Chris McNesby, James Lewis, and I lost my paper, Dennis Bond, Steve Wormuth, and Michael McKay. I just want to thank those people for 22 years of great service. I also want to thank them for putting up with some of my quirks. For example, whenever we played a big game in the National Alhambra tournament, you had to go, if you're on the staff, you had to go to Coney Island hot dog stand and get one with everything on it. And most of you don't understand that, but they do, because after they ate, they spent a lot of time in the bathroom. And another quirk was our late night strategy sessions when we discussed various things, including the merits of the cheesesteaks in Roxborough versus the wings of Port Richmond and other life-like type things. So I thank them for that, for putting up with me. Thank the scouts. They never get any kind of recognition. Mike Trattina, Mike Griffenberg, and Andy Cianci. Basically, they traveled everywhere, crazy places like Conrad Weiser, that's in Western Pennsylvania, up and down the East Coast, even becoming friends with the hot dog lady at Simon Gratz, all just so we could get an edge, and all on their own dime, and I thank them for that. Thanks to the moderators and the managers. Basically, the moderators are liaisons between the school and the program. And the managers are people who do all the dirty work. They set the gym up, they keep stats, they do the announcing, things like that. As a matter of fact, in my time, I thought that Frank Sinatra was the voice, but that's before I met Dan Hoban Jr. Thank you to the presidents and the principals of the school for realizing that we were not just another activity or not just another program, that you could actually use us and the free publicity that we got over the years to increase awareness of Roman Catholic. And when you increase awareness of Roman Catholic, you increase applications to Roman Catholic, and that keeps the ball rolling. And I thank them for that. Thanks also to the academic people who kept our guys straight, Brian Conroy, John Sofrisi, Joe Ranzo over the years. I want to thank the athletic directors that I worked with, Pete Mesnick, Tom Keogh, Dan Algio, and Dave Falcione. And I want to thank them because they gave me the freedom that I know a lot of coaches don't have in terms of scheduling and negotiating deals with people in tournaments, so that we could do things like play in Washington and visit the White House 4 times and play in 16 different states, including going to Hawaii 7 times, all at little or no cost to the school. So I thank them for that. Mahalo. Thank you. Thanks to Walt Rambo and John Orsini and the Mothers and Fathers Clubs for their continued support. They are a crucial background that nobody ever hears about. Finally, I shouldn't say finally, but I know some of you are hoping I say finally, but I had a sign over my desk for years, and the sign said, "Coaches who listen to fans soon find themselves sitting next to them." But I would like to thank the fans, including the student body. Sometimes you heard them called the Broad Street Bullies or the Gold Rush or names like that. But I always thought of them as the best darn sixth man in the Catholic League. So I thank the students for that. And the word fans comes from the word fanatic. See, we try to educate as we go along. In the early 90s, we actually dubbed a certain group of fans, semi-affectionately, as Expert Row. And they were a very, very, very interesting group because they like to help people. like they like to help me. They like to help the coaches. They like to help the officials. And they did a pretty good job at it. And I started writing down all the names, and to be quite honest with you, I ran out of paper. So I'm not going to go through all the names, but I just really want to thank them for their support. And along the way, we did try to educate them. For example, you can't call timeout every time the other team scores. And please, please, don't start hollering at the officials until after the national anthem. So, unfortunately, they didn't listen to both of those things. But their fanaticism is only matched by their loyalty to the purple and gold. And we thank them for that. And then there's a special group of expert row, actually the originals. And they've moved on. They're at that big palestra in the sky. But you know they're still doing their thing. You know that Ed Graham is telling God, we can make money this way, we can make money that way. And that was just Ed Graham. And you know Bob Evans is up there saying, but God, you got to have more compassion for your players, even though your best player just threw the ball away 4 times in a row. And you know Charlie Proud is up there giving God directions to the next tournament in Washington, D.C. It's just... And Charlie Logan is marking everything down in that heavenly scorebook. And Dick Trotter is up there saying, or actually calling the coach in the afternoon to talk over strategies and players, and then saying, for Pete's sakes, why can't we shoot foul shots better? Even though God doesn't have any players named Pete. And then there's John Hoban. You know, John's up there saying, damn it, you can't curse in front of God, but that would be John. he would say, damn it, you can't push the ball and be successful. And oh, by the way, God, you got a light? But that's... And hopefully there's a few giggles there, but they're very special, and they are my A-team. And I really, really miss them very much. Sorry. It's crazy how my allergies like work up every time I talk about these guys. What a coincidence. And finally, 3 quick personal notes. Number 1, in my time at Roman, both my parents passed away. And I just want to thank Dick and Bernadette Trotter and the Trotter family for adopting me as their 14th child, and I really, really appreciate that. Mrs. T, don't wait up tonight, I might be a little bit late. And next, they say you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. And because of my unique situation, my friends are my family. And I think I've chosen well. And they all have 2 things in common. Number 1, not one of them graduated from Roman, and yet they are as purple, they have become as purple and gold as anyone in this room. And number 2, I know that it didn't matter if my players had purple uniforms or gold uniforms or red uniforms or white uniforms, that they were with me 100%. And I appreciate that. And finally, I find it interesting that I'm being honored for having fun. I just want to thank Roman Catholic for letting a guy from K&A have fun for 27 years. Run, gun, have fun. Thank you so much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Before we conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask SHOF Chairman Pat Smith to come back up. And as Joe Flaherty would say, we're almost there because it's cutting into his drinking time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You lost a set of car keys. Did you ask anybody if they see them?
Anybody see any car keys? Just been informed we lost some car keys. If anybody found them, please bring them up. All right, quickly, I'd like to bring the spot. They found him? Oh, they found him over there. Okay, we'd like the SHOF committee to come up real quick. I know everybody wants to get out of here. We'll do the sports hall of purple and gold, and we'll be on our way. I want to thank everybody for coming. I know it was a little long night tonight, but we had a great crowd, and we had a great time. And thank everybody for coming. Okay, I want to thank these guys back here. Without them, we couldn't have made this evening possible. All right, if everybody knows the words, so let's join in, okay? Ready? When Dave mounts east, what flag does he hold? He flings out his banner of the purple and gold. And when at the east he sinks to his rest, the purple and gold, still the flame is the west. So stand by the flag, the young and the old. Its colors are yours, the purple and gold. A smile on the lip, a tear in the eye. Salute ye the colors of Catholic High. Hurrah, hurrah.